Well, welcome y'all so-and-sos to Jaffe Speaks for Saturday, the 22nd of this great month of February. I appreciate you being here. Listen, we got some video game talk. We got some weird news talk. We'll take your calls. In fact, Tech Protect is here watching over us like the footprints in the sand that the Lord Jesus did for us. And if you can put the link for them in the YouTube to call in if they want, that'll be up there for you. And then just kind of whatever you guys want to talk about. We'll shoot the shit. We got topics. We're good to go. Nawdog in the chat says Split Fiction will be game of the year. He's talking about the Joseph Fares game coming out in March. Very similar in multiplayer split screen kind of vibe to game of the year winner It Takes Two and Brothers, and what was the other one? No Way Out. And here's what I'll say about this game. I would say that it looks like it will be a great deal of fun. I think conceptually it's probably, in my opinion, the weakest of the four games he's done in terms of conceptually. It just feels kind of bland. It almost feels like a CG cartoon show that would run for a season on Nickelodeon in the afternoons or something. But it's I think the gameplay is going to be great, and the story may be great as well. It's just that what it looks like right now is just kind of okay. Anthony Wright, what's up, Jaffe? He says, how are you doing with no Adderall? Listen, man. So the pharmacy delivers my daughter's medicine to the to here, but also mine. And sometimes they get it mixed up. So I thought I didn't have Adderall and Concerta for my ADD, and it turned out that I went digging in the bag today, and I'm like, oh, it's been sitting there for a week. And at least it makes sense now, because talking to the pharmacy, they're like, dude, it's a Schedule I drug. We can't just, give you more. The government says we can't do that. And I'm like, look, I'm not a fucking addict. I take my meds responsibly. I'm like, where the fuck did they go? So yes, I'm back on my meds though. Thank you. It feels great. It feels more normal. Jacob Martin says, my girlfriend and I can't decide where to go out to eat. There's only one decision. It's always the Olive Garden. It's absolutely always the Olive Garden. If you really have that like available, like it's not too far away, and you choose something else, you're a goddamn anti-American son of a bitch, and I hope you go to Ukraine where the bad guys live. Can you believe that? Can you believe we are trying to be told by our government that now suddenly Ukraine are the bad guys? I'll tell you what, wonders never cease. Good guys, bad guys. They had their country invaded. One of the guys who made Stalker 2, one of the best games of last year, is dead because he left the development team and said, I'm going to go over here and work, be a soldier, protect the homeland. Dead guy now. He didn't go to attack Russia trying to storm the Kremlin. He went because Russia attacked Ukraine. Whatever you think of Ukraine. I don't know, man. Hit the like on the stream, says Rob the Mod. You goddamn right. Ravno says you're not the boss of me. Somebody needs the boss you to be the boss you, Ravnos. We've been watching your behavior in the Discord.
So much. Tech Protect for making the complex a game night. I think we all fun, and it was an awesome night. Hopefully there's more of them.
Well, thank you, Jojo D. Jojo D celebrates 52 months. If you don't know what he's talking about, thank you for being a member, buddy. He had been telling us forever to play this full motion video game on Scream the Complex, which we finally did last weekend. And it was actually really good. And I was actually really excited because you can finish it in one sitting. So I don't know if I'm ever going to go back and try to make another run at that game, but it was kind of fun. And I was actually, I don't think the production value mattered as much, but I do think it was neat that you could pause it so streamers could play with people watching. I think there's a second coming beyond what we already have of the FMV genre, that now that there's a lot of people who watch on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and all that I think there's some really neat things you could do with that. So it's the first time in my entire career that I've been like, I don't know, if somebody came to me and said, let's make a full motion video game that has its tentacles into YouTube and streamers and shit, I think there could be something pretty fucking cool there. But thank you, Jojo D. I appreciate it. Jojo Wilson says, Jaffe, are you going to be at the God of War 20th anniversary event? I might. I actually got a very nice text from the director of God of War Ragnarok, my buddy Eric Williams, yesterday saying, hey, are we going to see you at the event? I probably will. I don't like to leave like a 5-mile radius, and that's in LA, which means I'm going to have to drive up there. But it sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool event. They're going to have like works of art from a lot of the concept artists. There's going to be panels or one panel. A lot of the team's going to be there. They're going to be selling cool swag. And my understanding is and I don't know this, but Jeff Grubb, a journalist, has said that he thinks that is where they're going to reveal the God of War 1, 2, 3 remaster. So it could be worth going to. So I you know what, end of the day, I probably will, especially if I can somehow convince Tech Protect to come down and he can kind of film it and we can stream it and make content out of it, because, it's not like I'm getting paid to go to the panel. So we may as well give you guys a behind the scenes exclusive look. So that would be my plan. He's giving me the thumbs up. So it looks like we might do that. Okay. Are we all on background noise protocol? Do you see the timing of vid to speech? Struggling to understand that what that means. What do you mean? Anthony Wright says Donald Trump is fucking insane. He should be president of Russia. Look, man, I my position on Donald Trump is, well, I don't like the guy, of course. My position on Donald Trump is that I really hope people like me who can't stand him are right.
Movie
and
Maniac
you guys
has just donated $5 through Super Chat. Thanks, pal. What's your fav sports game? Mine is Mutant League Hockey.
I will answer that in just a moment. Oh my God. Voice to text to speech and AD do not go well, my friends. Shit. Tech. What was I talking about? He's like, I don't know. I'm fucking playing Civilization 6.
Donald Trump.
Was it? Yeah, Donald Trump. So I hope people like me who can't stand the guy are wrong when it comes to our fears. And I hope that it's just like, look, a lot of the people who voted for him are like, he's a troll, he's an entertainer, but fundamentally, he's not going to destroy democracy. And that's just sort of a lot of the sky is falling from the PR and the propaganda on the left, just like both sides have their propaganda. I hope you're right, because it's very, I don't feel so good about the things I'm hearing coming out of the White House. I'm wondering if you are in the chat and you voted for Trump. I would love for you to call in and talk about how you're feeling about that. I'd love to know, are you going, no, he's doing exactly what I thought. I mean, I saw that if you have diabetes yesterday, I saw that the protections that Joe Biden put out that said the cap is $35, that's been obliterated starting Monday. And now they can charge whatever the fuck they want. Laughing Skull says, thank you, buddy. Wanted to say you're absolutely killing it in the lcal universe. Keep up the great work. I got to tell you, man, I am enjoying being there. It's a lot of fun. It is a very different channel than this. And I know there have been some of our longtime supporters that didn't really like that I was throwing in with that crew over there. And all I can tell you is I'm the same guy. I'm not like I dropped into one of the shows today, and which I think is a really fun thing they have there, right? Where you can have a bunch of shows going, and if you're a host of any show, you can just drop in unannounced like a nosy neighbor. And I dropped into one show, and there was this person, and I won't say what they said, and I won't say who it is, but they said something that was like, okay, I don't, all the jokes aside, all that, which is fun, but I can't be you guys know me. Anybody watching my show knows me. I don't put up with certain things. I don't put up with transphobia, homophobia, racism, anti-Semitism, anti-Christian, anti-Muslim. We can all pick fun at each other and have a good time. And again, it's not my place to tell them how to run their channel, but the only thing I can do is say, when it gets to those places, I back out, because that's not me, but they have a right, and I support their right to do whatever the fuck they want. So, but thank you for that. I do appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. Rob the Mod says, Jaffe, I think you should go and show them who the boss still is, baby. Rob the Mod, I love you, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Darth Nugget says, Jaffe saves all his good internet for the locals. I've got a bunch of shit I'm going to be showing you guys today. I'm not coming unprepared. I'm not coming without gifts and bottles of wine. Movie Maniac, though, back to your chat. Thank you for that super chat. He says, what's your favorite sports game? Mine is Mutant League Hockey. Okay, so if you're talking about historically, my favorite sports game is NFL Blitz, and kind of all the blitzes. I'm not going to say, oh, it's the 96 version. They're all delightful, even to the point that I was at a retro arcade about 4 years ago, me and the Bartlett Jones team. It was about 5 years ago, actually. And they had a NFL Blitz there, and I played it, and it's just as good as it's always been. Me and Tobin Russell, great game designer, worked with me on Bartlett Jones stuff and Twisted Metal stuff and God of War stuff. We were playing it and laughing like we were fucking 10-year-olds sitting in front of a TV playing split screen. It was a fucking joy. So I would say that's my all-time favorite. If I'm going to play a sports game right now, I do like Madden, college football, because Madden has gotten really good at doing, I know I've been wanting MLB to do this for a while, MLB The Show, and they've gotten better, but Madden has gotten to a point now where it seems to have done a really good job at recognizing and giving you the options to sort of make it an art. It's not ever going to be blitz, but make it much more accessible, that you can just kind of get in and have more of a fun experience, that if you're not into simulations. Tech, they're telling me that my sync is off. Is that a real thing? Is that what's happening in my world? Is my voice and my text not matching? Tech, are you there? Maybe it is off. Tech, protect. Can you hear me?
Hello, I do hear it.
It says on YouTube it's out of sync. Do a refresh on your YouTube, Tech, and tell me if it's out of sync.
Yeah, it's out of sync.
Is it YouTube or everyone else is out of sync too? Go to another YouTube channel, like a live.
YouTube for sure is. Let me check your Twitter.
No, I know I'm out of sync on YouTube. I'm saying, are other streamers on YouTube? Is it a YouTube problem or is it a me problem?
It's a you problem. Hold on.
I can't. Let me. What I'll do is I'll hide my screen, turn off my mic, turn it back on. Movie Maniac says, I remember Madden being pretty complex last gen. Movie Maniac might have to try a new one. The new Madden is based and college football. At least the new Madden is on Game Pass.
Just
right now,
you.
so you can try
Just
it.
you on YouTube.
Hey, there's my buddy. There's Gina. Gina says on Twitter it's also out of sync. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put tech on the screen. I'm going to take myself off the screen. I'm going to kill my camera and restart my camera. So just keep talking to people. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Me, Tech Protect. Jaffe's going to do his little reset thing. How's the chat going? Literally, Tech is not out of sync. LOL, you are. Oh, okay. I don't know.
I know. I'm not out of sync now, right? I should be fine now.
Check YouTube.
Test. Hello. Am I out of sync?
No, I think you're good now.
Yeah. It's because I had two cameras going. I'm a fucking idiot. Let's bring in Sal for Mod real quick before we get to some of the news stories. Sal, for Mod, what's going on, buddy? And why are you
Jaffe?
like a cast member of the thing?
Everything is going. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on, champ?
So I wanted to ask you, did you get any news about Twisted Metal from the team, from the TV show?
No, I mean, I haven't talked to them since season 2 started. So I talked to them a lot at the beginning of pre-production of season 1. And I talked to them during the premiere of season 1. Like they had a thing at Sony at the studios and, they were like, hey, come down for this. But obviously I would have to go outside to do it. So I didn't. But I haven't really had much connection with them at all for season 2. The only thing I didn't even know the trailer was going to drop when it did a few weeks back. But I think the trailer looks great. Looks awesome.
Nice. And also I want to ask you about...
Yeah, why are you talking like that?
I don't know. Can you hear?
Now I can hear. Yeah. What's going on?
Pitoto won the mod election yesterday.
What the fuck did you just say? What?
The mod election. Mod.
I don't pay attention to what's going on. P Turtle won the mod election in the Discord. And the Discord, what was it about? What were you electing him to?
No, it was Rob was asking about a new mod position.
Oh, they want P Turtle to be the mod?
No, we voted already.
And who won?
P Turtle.
Yeah, it'll be a cold day in fucking hell, sir, when we make him a mod. What I will tell you is I was actually speaking of the lcal channel, P Turtle is a very divisive figure here at Gabbin' Games and the Jaffe channel stuff. But I think he would fit right in over there. I hope, he calls in from time to time, so you never really know when he's going to appear. It's like, let's see if we can do it like Beetlejuice. P Turtle. We'll see if he shows up. But I think he should call into those shows sometimes because I think their audience would absolutely make him into the superstar he clearly is dying to be.
Okay.
So if you guys run into him on the internet, let him know to hit me up. Gina Ramirez, you know what, man? Gina, will you please call in? You and I have to have a talk about a couple of things anyway.
Okay.
Gina says, P Turtle is so funny. You have now just created a goddamn monster. Everyone is asking for you in YouTube chat, Gina, says Joker. Gina, just call into the fucking show. Sal, good to see you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, man. Okay. All right. So let's get to a couple of stories more. I do want to show you a very quick clip because on this show, a lot of times I talk about, people talk about this game failed because of this and this game failed because of that. There was a beautifully succinct, now this guy has banned me or blocked me or whatever. I don't know why. I've never had any conversation with him, but maybe like Jeff Grubb, he thinks I'm some kind of right-wing guy that's like, storming the Capitol or something. But Matt Piscatella spoke, and I'm going to show you this clip with Greg Miller. It's like a 30-second clip about how gamers buy games and in this generation. And it starts to put shine a real clear light on the reason I think a lot of these games are not selling. That has little to do with is it woke or is it service based or whatever. So check this out. It's only a 30-second clip, but very succinct, very well expressed. Oh, I got to share the screen. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. All right.
30% of people that play video games will not buy a video game this year.
Wow.
So that's a third of the audience that just won't buy. A further 18% purchase a new game every 6 months or less frequently. So these are your folks that are buying Madden or EAFC, or they're picking up Call of Duty, right? Your big mass market only kind of buyer. The kind of purchaser that's watching this show, you're probably buying at least one game a month, maybe more. Only 12% of video game players buy a game once a month. Only 4% buy games more often than once per month. So, when we're talking about the developers and the publishers that are really being, hurt the most, that we're talking the most about, are the games that are really targeting this like 16% of total players that are, purchasing very frequently, while the mass majority of players are buying a game or two a year and they're playing Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox. And I think that's like the biggest challenge. The biggest competitor to any new video game is Fortnite. I will die on that hill no matter what it is, because you have to fight Fortnite before you fight anything else to get your game seen and purchased. And that's like the biggest challenge I think happening right now.
So I just think that's real interesting because, again, I mean, we've kind of talked about it and nibbled around the conversation, but now you've got an analyst that actually is showing up with real numbers and saying, only 16% of people buy the kind of games that are, the Star Wars Outlaws and the Indiana Jones and the Great Circles. And maybe it also starts to explain maybe why Phil Spencer, whether you like Game Pass or not, or PlayStation Plus, they look at it and go, maybe our future is subscription based, because 14% is not enough to merit a budget spend of $450 million. Ravnos says those are not real numbers. Ravnos, okay, you may be right. Why would I trust you and not a guy who gets paid to analyze and actually get the numbers? Again, maybe you're right. Maybe you've got the inside skinny, but could you explain where you're getting that data from? He's not predicting the future. He literally is saying it's 16%. David, do you know that lcal milkers chat about lcal cat? I don't know. Preppy says, Jaffe, do you know what lcal milkers, lcal cafe chat about on their live? Buddy, I don't know what that means, sir. I love you with all my heart and soul, but I don't know what that means. Listen to what I do know. K-Nubs, my best friend in the whole universe, has just subscribed. Well, that's not true. That's a lie, Jaffe. Fuck you. K-Nubs has said, hey, listen, man, it's important to me to share my great wealth. And I don't mean my penis. Sup. He gives 5 fucking memberships to the Jaffe show, to the whatever this thing's called, Jaffe Speaks or some such nonsense. K-Nubs, thank you, buddy. That is very generous. That is very, very kind, and very, very cool. I want to see if I can tell who got those, because I want to shout out the new members and say thank you guys very, very much for being here. And I am so very, very glad that you are now part of our team. Here we go. JJD, Fuzzy, Steve Motton, Jamie Gonzalez, and Louie. Just Louie. Meh. What's this guy's name? Louie. Louie what? No, it's just Louie. Louie. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. Jaffe, the fat dude on your show went on an N-word rant about black people not tipping. Ravnos posted it. Thoughts? The fat dude on my show. Richard?
I think it's about Wings of Redemption.
Oh, well, again, here's what I would say. Hang on, let me make sure I don't want to miss this. Okay. Here's what I would say about that. A lot of when I first mentioned to people I was going to go on a show that Keemstar owns this or runs this universe or whatever the term is, some people were saying, hey man, why would you do that? You're super progressive. You're super liberal. That's not a good thing. And I talked to a bunch of people and they showed me clips, but these were clips from like 2017, 2018, right? And even this morning, my son Calvin was showing me something he had retweeted that was a trans woman saying that I don't like any pronouns except he, she. And if and so that guy was saying, or that trans woman was saying, and he was retweeting it, about, they didn't believe in non-binary, blah, blah, blah. I honestly do not give a fuck about, I don't want to be around, and I don't want to be part of entertainment where someone is being cruel to other people and saying the N-word. Like today, something happened where I just backed out of the show. I'm like, all right, I'll see you guys, is what I said. So, I'm on the show for a variety of reasons. No one is perfect. And if it's a show that over the next couple of weeks shows itself to be a place where people are cruel to one another and it's not just kind of fun and shooting the shit, then I'll walk away in a heartbeat. I don't have a contract or anything like that. And they probably would want me to walk away, because if that's what they do, I'm obviously not a good fit. But that has so far not been my experience, is what I would say. So, and hey, I don't have to tell you, it's also, look, I mean, there is a point, there is a point where, you have to just sort of, vote with your wallet. If you really don't think that me going on that show is good, then I think I wear my bona fides on my sleeve. But if that's not good enough for you, I'll have to kind of tip my hat and say, maybe we'll meet down the road. Buddy, Smash JT is friends with Jay. There's a lot you don't know. I don't care who's friends with who. This is the thing, and maybe it's a generational thing. I can't stand Smash JT. I can't stand him. I think he's a really bad person, my own personal opinion about him, okay? But I don't care who's friends with someone. Colin is friends with people I don't agree with. My kids may be friends with people I don't agree with. But are you really, really open up kind of like a list on Google, do a Google Sheets of all the friends and acquaintances and people you work with. And I want you to go through and tell me what the criteria is for when that person is scratched out of your life, right? If you work, I don't know what your job is. Let's say you sell cars, and you and a buddy, your wingman, is great at selling cars together and getting you guys make a lot of money together. He's a nice guy, but on the weekend he does some stuff that you would consider. Let's say he never hurts anybody, but he uses his First Amendment protection to go on a YouTube channel that he has and talk about white supremacy. Now, I of course think that's horrible, and I probably would never be close with a person like that. But what am I going to do? Quit the job because there's someone there that doesn't agree with or align? I don't understand. I just don't understand. Okay. But yeah, for example, I agree. Megan Rowland says, as someone who understands identity relating to society, pronouns are important for identity. I agree. That's why my profiles will always say he, him, because I very much understand the value of it. Thank you, Jay Styles. I'm not going to read what you wrote, but for a variety of kayfabe reasons, but thank you. I appreciate that. It was meant to be, and that means a lot to me that you see it as such. Kanye Wooly West says, Jay is not a friend of Smash JT. Jay knows he's a grifter, and even if he was, who gives a shit? You can be mutual with people without agreeing on everything. Right? That's all I'm saying. Jaffe going through a rough time right now and feeling lonely. Just want to say your streams help lots. Appreciate it. Matt, come on, man. Matt, that's I'm sorry you're going through a rough time. And I'm sorry you're feeling lonely. Everybody goes through it. Obviously, your mileage will vary on what's causing it and how severe it is. But, we're here for you, man. I'm glad you're here with us. I'm glad you're part of the community. And I appreciate you saying that. And I appreciate that in our small way, we can be here for you. Now, Matt, as much as I like you, I'm going to have to hurt you. I'm going to have to do something really cruel, and that's bring on Ravnos. Ravnos, can you say something, or more importantly, can Jennifer say something to Matt? He's going through a rough time, and he's feeling very lonely right now.
Jennifer's busy, but
where's your camera? I'm going to start a new rule. You can't come on this show without a camera. Put your fucking ZZ Top stupid Viking fucking face in the goddamn show.
Hold on. Why is it not working?
Alex, yes, I will be getting WWE 2K25 day one. In fact, I'm even getting
camera's
early.
on, but it's just a purple square. I don't understand.
Well, maybe you look like Grimace from McDonald's. All right, well, what do you want to talk about?
I just want to make it clear. I'm not mad at you. and I'm done posting shit about Keem.
Mhm.
The reason for me to post that stuff was to show you the type of people you were going to be associated with, because as you know, a lot of people play the guilt by association game. Like,
Yes.
oh, look at, he's on a thing with that person. 20 years ago, that person kicked a puppy. 5 years ago, that other person spat on a bird. You know, you get people that are like that. So
Well, and 2 years ago, it wasn't just spitting on a puppy; it was saying a really offensive thing. I mean, I'm not denying that some of the things those people have done that you share with me are things that I find really offensive.
Yeah.
And but you know, what
like
do you
I
want
said,
me to do?
I was giving you info. That was it.
Yeah,
that was like,
that's not it, because then you went off and you canceled your membership, which is fine. I support your right to do it. You've given this channel lots of money and time and support over the years. But if all you were doing was sharing information like a fucking librarian, then why did you not only cancel your membership, but then you took a screenshot of it and posted it on the Discord to say, look at me, everyone, I canceled my membership.
because that was performative virtue signaling.
Okay, well, it's also money. Give it back to me. I want it back.
Trolling.
And
you
now,
want that
and
$5?
I want you up to the second membership,
Oh,
because
you're
the other thing is when Alana Pierce comes on in a week, and it's going to be only Cult of Calypso members, God of War members, and mods that can get in there. And I assume you want to talk to her about writing and the game industry and all that stuff.
Oh God, no. I'm look. Everybody's gonna take this wrong way. I have no ill will towards Alana, but I'm not a fan of hers. Like, she's a person. That's cool.
I don't think you're going to call in to slobber
I wouldn't
all over.
ask her anything. I'd ask her if she's rethought her stance on pausing in Elden Ring, which you totally can do. But you know,
how can you pause an Elden Ring? No, I don't even know how you can do it. How can you pause an Elden Ring?
You go into the inventory and then you hit a button and it pauses it.
Okay, so you have to have
it literally freezes the game. Like, you can't get killed.
Right.
Because everything stops.
Okay, so maybe you can do that, but that wasn't her point, though.
Yeah,
her point. Yeah.
Let me make one more thing clear.
Yeah.
You screenshotted a thing that I did on Rich's stream yesterday. That was not me shitting on you. That was me asking Rich a question.
I don't even remember what it was.
I said, Rich, it looks like Jaffe's tanking the stream, or am I wrong? Something like that. And what I meant,
listen. I get it. You're a Trump supporter and you're doing the Trump playbook. You're doing the Trump playbook thing, which I get. I know how it works. This is how it works. Blah, 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 blah. You say something that's offensive, but you put in just enough wiggle room that you can go, I didn't say that. You're saying I said that.
Do you want to know why I asked him that?
Not really,
because
but sure.
On the lolcow live stream, they were talking. It was this Boogie was talking to Keem about how Jay is wanting Rich back, and I'm like, well, why? And then I looked and I'm like, oh, and then people in the chat were talking about, oh, the stream Tech Talk started at like 1,200 plus and dropped to below 800. And then that's why I went to Rich. I said, hey, Rich, is Jaffe taking the stream, or am I wrong?
Well, look, first off, every show does that for the most part that runs at,
not last night, buddy.
Well, okay, but it's still, there's a dip because we go live at 9 o'clock California, or 8 o'clock California, which means if you're watching anywhere else, so by the time you get into the second hour, it's 12, 1, 2 in the morning. Yeah. And the watch times after the fact are actually pretty good because people wake up and they keep watching it. So, but regardless of that, if lolcow, for example, that network of Keemstar owned and run channels over there, if they actually want a show called Tech Talk, and they want people to talk about motherboards and really interesting Chinese bootleg versions of the Steam Deck that are actually worth playing. And hey, today we're going to rate the top 5 fans for a PC that you could build that are all under $300 each. I would fucking rather jump out a fucking window. Right.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
but I appreciate that there are people who want that. And certainly Tech Talk, my understanding is that's kind of what it sort of started as. And so, I get that. I don't want to do that show.
And that's what I meant. All I meant was that a lot of the people in the chat that night
Yeah.
they were so vitriolic towards you. Like there was one person that had green in their name, and then I don't remember the other one. The other one just was relentless. But the point
I don't really
is,
read the chat unless they pay. So
it's always going to be that way because there was people that were there because of Rich.
Yeah.
So
and Rich is
obviously,
great.
when
I
Rich
have no
got
beef with
fired,
Rich.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
all
have
I
zero.
meant.
I have zero beef with Rich. You, on the other hand, unless I get you at a Cult of Calypso member at least for 3 months, not only will I have beef with you, but Jennifer's moving in with me at the end of the week. I just want to let you know.
Hey, suggestion for your show: talk it over with Jay.
Which show?
Maybe do like what you kind of have attempted to do on your channel, which is maybe go over gaming news.
Let me just give you some inside baseball briefly about that show.
Cool.
So we did the first night, and I found this really interesting. And you know, whatever you think of that group over there, I'm learning a lot from them because they've had a great deal of success and they know aspects of how to play the game. And I respect that, and I appreciate the perspective. So the first night, which was who's the mystery new host, obviously we did well. That was great, blah, blah, blah. The second night, we did exactly what you said. And we did a really deep dive. I want you to think about this. Shuhei had just done an interview with Colin on Sacred Symbols Plus. Yep. And Jay and I spent over an hour with the chat diving deep into that. Like, what did he mean? The fact that he greenlit Concord and the idea that he says that he played the Last of Us factions and he liked it. If that's the case, and there's other things that don't line up, and it said, the title was like, is Sony lying? And it was the quality of deep discourse with Jay and I, because he loves games and I love games and I know a lot of that stuff because I've been there, that you would think people would love. And if you look at the stats, it's just like that night, it was like gadung, 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 just going down, down, down. It's like chutes and ladders hitting a chute and you're just at the bottom and you're like, what the fuck? They don't want that over there. Yeah. I'm not saying they don't like Keemstar or Jay or anything. That's what they came to me and said, let's talk about that. And that's what we did. And we looked at the ratings and said, people are bailing on this. So if you really want deep, real game news, that's this, right? That's this show or Gavin and Games or whatever. I love talking about that stuff, but that's clearly not what that audience is interested in. So I think what that show is probably going to start to become, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say that I liked last night that we jumped into like the 15 most disgusting sex toys, according to this website. I thought that it's there's a little bit of meat on the bone. There's a little bit of outline and structure. So it's not just one of these shows where people are just shooting the shit and you just hope you can get by on charisma and drama. There is actually a trail of breadcrumbs to tune in and go, hey, tonight we're going to be looking at a bunch of ways people have been killed accidentally. Or I'm just pulling that out of my ass, but it's kind of more of the weird, strange shit that I like so much, right? That will be probably where it is sort of the rough coat hanger that hangs the outline, but it's going to have the drama on top of it and all that shit. That's my feeling, but you know, we're feeling it out.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the audience for the lolcow network is they're into the Zoo TV type of thing. They're there for the drama and the over the top.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely. That's what it is. It is fun, by the way. I'm not going to fucking lie to you. It is. No, it is like Jerry Springer over there. And as long as it doesn't devolve into cruelty, and if it is, it's clearly joking. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of Jerry Springer from time to time, but but that's why I have this channel too.
Is your face stained? Did you accidentally stain it with that blood?
Hey, I have never had period blood on my face like that. I mean, I've been with a woman once who was on her period, and I was just like, I know it's supposed to be like that's what an alpha does. I felt like Carrie in that movie where they dumped the pig blood on her, and I'm just like, I can't do it. And she's like, no, I get it. But this is the first time I've actually had all of it that much. And it was an old woman's blood, or at least I think it was. Because she says to me, oh, well, I'm menopausal. I don't have a period anymore. And so maybe it was from someone else, or maybe it was from like a mix of something like, you know, lamb's blood that she got from the grocery store. I have no clue. All right. Yeah. All right, buddy. Thank you, Ravnos. Hey, I'll be looking for that sub. today on this stream.
Oh, today, huh?
Oh, yeah, today. You'd go
Well,
ask
my
your
other
little wife.
one doesn't end
No.
for like
go
a
ask
while.
your wife, is it okay if I can subscribe to Jaffe? Because you
I
make
don't
all the
have to ask
decisions.
permission.
Oh, really? Bullshit. I guarantee you will, because she's busy, which means you can't go to her and ask her, which means we ain't seeing the
Do you
sub
think
today.
I asked when I bought all these comics? No.
I think you didn't ask because if she knew you bought all those comics, she'd leave you tonight, because she's like, what the fuck are you doing
No,
reading
she
comics?
found
Get
out
over
and she
here and
bought 2
service me,
dogs.
bitch. What's that?
She found out and then she made me buy her 2 huskies.
All right. I'll be waiting for the sub.
All right, later.
See you, Ravnos. All right, there we go. Hey, Gary Turbo, I'll bring him in a minute. Okay. I did not earn my Red Wings. And again, I'm so okay with that. I don't need to be the guy. Like when I saw that guy, who's the tech, get in here. Tech, who's that rapper who is the not Wiz Khalif, but Khaled something?
DJ Khaled?
Yeah. And he's the one who said, I don't go down on my women. That's not something a real man does, right? That was the one. Okay. All right, that's all I needed. Thank you, Tech. So when he said that, I was like, okay, everybody's got their things they like and don't like, but I've always been very good at that, and I've always enjoyed that. And the people I'm with, when they don't have the gag in their mouth, they tell me that they like it. But what I would say to you is the period thing, nothing wrong with it, but no, not for me. Not for me, my friends. It's just, no. Okay. All right. Where did it go? My wife would say no because she's jealous of Jaffe. You goddamn right. All right. Here's Gary Turbo of the Cincinnati Turbos. How are you, sir? What's going on?
Yeah, I wasn't going to call in today, but
you did.
But the thing about Overwatch is just I had to say something about this. Okay. All I have to say is Aaron Keller is a moron. Like, for real.
Who? I don't know who that is.
He's the director of
Overwatch 2?
Overwatch. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
He said
Gary, you're cutting out, buddy. I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. All right. Call back, Gary. See if you can make it work. We'll put you on in a little bit, but I can't hear you right now. Jaffe, says Huey, I love your stirring the pot and taking it to the locals. You definitely caught him off guard. I guess I did, man. I don't know. I think what happened over there, I'm not even fucking with you guys. I think what happened over there is they were not prepared. I'm a goddamn professional. I literally had people I'm not even fucking with you. This is a true story. I had people when I worked for Sony. I had my boss, Alan Becker, pull me aside one day and say, because we were going to go into a meeting and we were going to hear about, it was like a programming group wanted to do something with one of the games we were working on. And I had my opinion, but I was open-minded. He says, look, you can't do that Jedi shit you do. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, when you can convince people just by your words to do shit. And I'm like, yeah, it's called arguing and making a good point. And he says, yeah, but you're really persuasive. You can't do that shit. Right. And so I when I go over to the locale, I don't think that these guys were prepared for my level of Jedi ability. And there's also a privilege thing. Somebody was asking me today, they're doing this thing called Fat Camp. And they're like, you got Keemstar's like, you need to go to Fat Camp. I'm like, am I going to Fat Camp? And everyone on the panel is like, you've got to. Keemstar says you have to. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll just quit. Right. There is value in having financial privilege. Like, I'm not, and Jay's like, show your nipples. No, I don't think I will. I just don't think I will. No. But you know what? I'm goddamn good enough at what I do. It doesn't matter. Do what I want to do. Listen to this. Rob the Mod is texting me something. Let's see what Rob's got to say. He says, Sal is full of crap. I never made a poll for a mod. It will be a cold day in hell before I mod P Turtle. Oh shit. Was that private? I'm just kidding, Rob. I hear you. Listen, where did it go? Anthony says, Jaffe, why don't the locale people call into your show? Are they not allowed? They probably could, but here's one of the things those guys do really fucking well, and they are really fucking good at it. And, which is they know how to make money. They know how to make money in memberships. They know how to make money in super chats. And it's something that Tech's been talking about on this show, but I'm still not entirely like, I was watching Jay do his show today on YouTube, which is his own private show. And they're just rolling in these super chats and shit. And part of it is they're being denied. It's like, if you want to call in, sure, it's a $25 call in. Or if you want to call in on that show, you have to be in the Discord. Well, the Discord, you have to be a member. Well, my members raise hell whenever I even bring up the idea of making the Discord behind a paywall, right? And so a lot of it is on those shows, because it is not my company, is I'm willing to work, I'm working for them or under contract or whatever. And if that's sort of their list of rules, and hey, I can't argue with it because it works. But on this show, honestly, and this is probably not good business, I will read anything in the chat that I find interesting that I think will make the show good to anyone who's watching. And the good news there is we have long watch time. We have long concurrent watches. We have a really loyal, dedicated group of people who watch the shows. The bad news is, because anyone can get recognized, no one really ever pays here. That's not true. We got a great K-Nubs membership. We got Movie Maniac. But if you watch those shows, it's just like, right. And, I get it. I appreciate it. It's one of the reasons I'm over there. I want to learn that, but I want to find my own way to express that to the audience. Okay. You goddamn right, P. Dudley. I'm a man of the people. Here's what I want to ask you guys. I want to show you a little clip from the new Call of Duty. It's literally like 40 seconds long. I love Call of Duty. I love the campaigns for the most part, and I really, really love the multiplayer recently. It's really, really good. But I will tell you that a lot of people have had these complaints about, well, all these costumes make it goofy like Fortnite. And I have not minded the goofy shit at all. But this may be because it's kind of like, yeah, it's weird, but it's almost like serial killer weird. Like these motherfuckers join the army and they put like a severed head of a.
Awesome Tatum has just donated $10 through super chat. Well, shit, hear your goddamn super chat. Love ya, Jaffe.
I love ya too, Awesome Tatum. I don't know. Are you having a stroke? Why are you talking like that? But thank you, Awesome Tatum. And that is how you do it. Thank you, Awesome Tatum. I love you with all my heart and soul. You'll get a song about a bowl of marijuana that I shitted out of my tuchus and gave it to a lady. And she said, you have to love me and the way you look tonight. I love that song. Thank you, Awesome Tatum. The point being, though, is when they put on the Ninja Turtle thing, though, I think they may have crossed the line. And they've crossed the line with me where it now feels kind of like, thank you, Rob. It now feels kind of like I'm still going to play it. It's like I'm going to walk away. I love this game. But let me just show you. It's the dance moves and the music that I think is like, okay, guys, you've gone a little too far. But maybe not. Maybe kids in the 90s don't care. When you can do taunt dances and shit like that. And again, I don't care. The game's brilliant, but it's just like, come on, guys, that's a little dumb. Like that shit, I fucking hate it. It's still cool. It's cool that they have them in the game and everything. Just watch My Dinner with Andre, says Jake Z. It's fantastic. Have you seen it? It's a psychedelic conversation in the style you like to have. So interestingly enough, I started watching it a couple of weeks ago, and it's so bizarre, at least at the beginning, that I was just sort of like going, just like, what the fuck is this? And then
Johnny has just donated €5 through super chat. Thanks, pal. Here's some money to never impromptu sing again.
Johnny, first off, thank you, you British fuck. Second off, Johnny was a British boy who fucked bricks that he found in the yard, and he fucked a brick and fell in love with the brick. Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. Yeah, the beginning of My Dinner with Andre is very slow. Too much monologue. It becomes more of a dialogue. I will absolutely give it a watch for sure. Corporate Game Design says, Jaffe, what's up? What are the gutters of gaming mad about today? It's a good question. Let's think for a moment. What do you think people are mad about today in video games? Let me see. I mean, they're always mad about something. They're always fucking angry. And it's the most ridiculous goddamn thing in the world. Do you know there is a game coming up at Steam Next Fest this week or next week? I forget when it is, the 24th. So, and this is something. It is from the composer of the music of Persona and Metaphor Refantasio. And I want to just show you a quick clip from it. This has been kickstarted, but we'll get our first actual hands-on coming up, I think maybe even Monday. It's called Guns Undarkness. And what's neat about this is that you have a real-time stealth aspect to it where you can kind of run around in 3D over the shoulder, and actually avoid guards and shit like that, right? So that's kind of basic. And then you come up on a guard and you can shoot them, and you got teammates, you got like 4 teammates, so watch this. But when you come up on an actual enemy, if you want to sneak up from behind, obviously you get advantage. But then it turns into turn-based 3D Persona style RPG. And I think that's really fucking cool. It basically, you'll get advantages if you can sneak up on them. And once you sneak up on them and you initiate an attack, you get all kinds of advantages if they didn't see you. And then you go into sort of espionage, James Bond, futuristic turn-based combat. And they said that it is clear. The guy who made it, here's what it says on the Steam page. It says a turn-based tactical JRPG inspired by Metal Gear Solid and Persona, a relationship system that boosts the protagonist as you grow closer with your teammates. Futuristic setting on the verge of global and societal ruin, and it's a meeting of the minds between people who worked on Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, Ghost in the Shell, The Wonderland, and Persona as well. So I'm excited. So I don't know, maybe they'll be mad about this when it actually we get our first taste of the demo. Maybe that they can bitch about, but you're not wrong. They always bitch about something, corporate. I don't know. I don't understand. Okay. What is this called? It is called Guns Undarkness, and there will be a goddamn what's called a demo coming out pretty fucking soon. Okay. Could be, when's the 24th? I think it's Monday. It starts Monday, so we'll be able to play it on Monday. What's going on, Gary Turbo? Did you get things working?
You can hear me?
I can hear you great. What do you want to talk about? You were saying that the director of what's called Overwatch 2 you don't like and you're upset with him.
Yeah, because like he when Marvel Rivals came out, he was like, yeah, competition just makes us a lot better. And I was like, why do you need competition? Just make a decent game. I mean, I've been waiting.
Hang on. Are you saying he's talking about Marvel Rivals and going that because we have Marvel Rivals now, we're going to work harder?
Yeah, like he already had a lot of people that wanted the campaign mode. He got rid of that.
Well, I don't. Okay, but to be perfectly fair, though, I mean, the idea that he as a director walked in and said that mode out, I'm getting rid of it. It's rarely Gary Turbo that simple. It probably was more like they were looking at the budget and they were looking where they were making their money, and it's like, we don't think that the narrative aspect of the game, at least as it's built into the way we want to do it with the multiplayer as a service game, is going to work. That's probably why.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of people make great content with less money.
Sure, absolutely. They do.
Look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It took 2 guys get their tax refund check, and they ended up making a multi-million-dollar success. And then, like with Blizzard, they had about 500 people working there. They working on that one game, and all they did was just laid them off, horse around, which caused Microsoft to buy them. I mean, they were the ones that wanted Microsoft to buy them. They were calling Microsoft. And the thing is, like, and as of recent, they keep releasing characters with little to no backstory. They got this big booty girl from Mars with.
I like that girl. What's her name? I think. Cool. What's her name?
Juno, like that pregnant girl movie.
Right. You don't think Juno's a cool looking character?
All she does is complain about everything.
Well, she's not real.
It's a hazard. Oh, that's a choking hazard. Jeez, like Mars ain't safe enough to live in right now.
Well, you know, I understand, but I also think she's my girlfriend, and I demand you speak kindly of her, Gary Turbo, because I'm going to marry her. What do you think of that?
The biggest story is the biggest thing is the story. Like I've been waiting for an animated short with Symmetra for years, especially when I want to figure out, will she leave Viscar? Will she join Overwatch? Will she join Cal?
Gary, I got to be honest with you. Sir. I don't really care. Here's what I would say. I care about you very, very much, but I don't really care about this topic, only because I'm like, go play something else. Like if it sounds like what you're saying is they have lost your fidelity, they have lost your respect, right? And so just why are you even still playing it? Why not pick up Marvel Rivals, or why not jump to Call of Duty multiplayer or Apex Legends?
Yeah, I do play Apex Legends, but
because that's I'm going to give you a tip, buddy. That's the only language these people understand is money. If you walk away, they'll start to go, why are we losing these people?
I had never spent 1 cent on these free-to-play games.
Well, then why would they listen to you at all then? I mean, if you're not... Yeah, go ahead.
It was, like, they could at least have, like, could have dived deep in the story. And I'm not talking about these big book of short stories where it goes completely nowhere. Yeah. I'm talking about like what they did with the animated shorts.
I mean, like at the very beginning, back in the day, like Winston and all that shit.
Yeah, like
I just don't think there's money in it, man. I know you like it and I respect that and I think that's really cool, but I just don't think fundamentally that's where they're seeing the engagement.
But like with Apex, they could have made a new Apex story, especially when
they could have.
They set up.
Yeah, they didn't want to, Gary.
Like
Gary, listen, they didn't want to, and you have the power to say, you know what, Overwatch, go fuck yourself. I'm taking my very valuable time and I'm moving on with my goddamn life, and I'm going to play something else. But you just saying they coulda. One of the biggest problems that I find with gamers when they complain is they don't really have the inside story. For all you know, the game director wanted to do that. And he was told by the producer or the executive producer that controls the money, hey man, we've looked at the numbers and the analytics and people would rather have 5 new character skins next month. And the artists that would be doing the models for the short films, we need them to do the characters that sell boatloads. Right. And so
I have to correct you right there.
What's that?
The guy with
Nubs
the money
has just donated $4.99
Phil
through
Spencer
Super Chat.
gave him a pink slip.
Jaffe, what would you be more proud of? Your video game career or gaining a million subscribers on YouTube?
Phil Spencer gave who a pink slip? And what do you mean by pink slip? Like he fired the guy?
Yeah.
Then why are you mad at him? He got fired. He can't control the game.
When Microsoft, when Xbox now owns Activision Blizzard, they became hands off. That means Blizzard can do whatever they want. And any mistake that Blizzard makes is on them.
Right.
Whoa! Do you guys just see K-Nubs in the chat? Jaffe, what would you be more proud of, your video game career?
Oh, I saw that. All right, Gary Turbo. Well, listen, I hear you. I don't agree, but I always love when you call, buddy. Be well and have a great rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right,
buddy. See you, man. There goes Gary Turbo. K-Nubs, thank you, buddy. What would I be more proud of? Your game career or gaining 1 million subs on YouTube? Honestly, that question is an impossible question because what would I do to gain the subs, right? Am I going to murder somebody? I mean, what do I, if you're basically saying, here's what I would tell you, K-Nubs, I would be more proud of gaining 1 million subs on YouTube if that was born on the back of people feeling that that they are having a place to go to feel heard and connected and have a good time and be entertained, because there's no real difference between making entertainment if it's a game, if it's a book, if it's a comic, if it's a YouTube channel. What you really want to do is give people an escape and a place to go and a place to connect. So I would probably say gaining 1 million subs if it's built on that. And thank you for that. Also, I want to say, Chris, thank you very much, has joined the Diet Soda Soldiers. He stepped up, everybody. He stepped up. Now, here's what I don't understand. Tech Protect, how many likes do we have on this goddamn stream right now? If you go to the YouTube, what are they saying? What are the kids saying in the YouTube like button?
We need a lot more likes, guys. I think we're only at 15. Let me refresh.
I mean, there's like between
40.
Twitter.
Hell yeah.
It's a button. Now, if you're hate watching, please do not click it. I don't want your pity. But do leave a nasty comment that also has some substance telling me what we can do to make the show better. But if you are watching and getting enjoyment, give us a like, because the algorithm likes the like. And if the algorithm likes me, I don't know what happens, but I hear the algorithm is important. But listen, Chris, thank you. He says, remember that Microsoft stripped down Overwatch, so it's best to complain to Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, all I can tell you guys is somebody who has done work in here in the games business, a lot of times it's not that you don't deserve to be pissed at things that are fucking up the games you love. You absolutely do. But I would advise you to kind of, before you paint the target on any individual, a lot of times you don't really know. Like, even if you're hearing some of the things Shuhei, who ran PlayStation for a long time, is saying, when Shu was put in the position to do indies when Jim Ryan came in, it was clearly not what he wanted. And he's basically saying that now, right? But if you go back, I guarantee you at the time, Shuhei was not saying, I don't really want to do it. I think I'll do a good job. I love indies, but I would prefer to keep my current position because there's more influence and maybe even more money. He's not going to say that, right? So he's going to say something like, you know what, I have loved the PlayStation Sony initiative for so long, and I've done these big games before and they are in such good hands. Have you seen Neil's new game? Have you seen Corey's new game? Oh my God, Ghost Tsushima is about to come out. It's going to blow your mind. I want to take that same passion, that same excitement, that same sense of we want to conquer the world like we have done in AAA, and I want to bring that into the indie space. And if you hear that and you don't smell the PR stench all over that answer, then you only have yourself to blame for not being media literate, because fundamentally you can't then, like in a court of law, bring up you said this in that interview. It's like, that interview was marketing. They don't owe you the truth. They will never give you the truth unless the truth happens to coincide with their desire to get money from you. So please be aware. I'm sure a lot of you are, but when I hear you guys actually kind of parroting back, well, that doesn't make sense, Jaffe, because this guy said this. Yeah, in an interview. It's not real life. It's entertainment. It's razzle dazzle, baby. Go watch Chicago, the movie. David K has been a member for 2 months, and he knows I appreciate it. He says, can we just all stop and appreciate the amazing level design, the original God of War? Yeah, we can, because it's great. And I didn't do it all. I mean, I did some of it, but Joe Wright, Tobin Russell, Todd Pappy. Who am I missing? Come on, Jaffe, you fucking idiot. Ashley Morgan, Richard Fogey's bird. What's her name? She's a nice lady, real smart. Oh, Jessica Burnett. Huh?
Steve was in there.
Steve was in where?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't Steve. Steve worked with me on Twist Metal Black, though. That's true. But thank you, David K. I appreciate that, buddy, very, very much. Okay. Bad Robo says 184 people are watching, including 180 Jaffe sub accounts. I don't know what that is. I mean, like I've bought those people. I understand. Don't miss the member chats. I think I just got them. Okay. Listen, fellas. My favorite interview, says John Bernay, was when Jaffe said Twisted Metal wouldn't be at E3 in 2012. No lies or PR bullshit in that interview. All lies. All lies. And then when it was a blog called Joystick, when Joystick was like, you lied. I'm like, oh, I know. And like, I'm not running for office, or I'm not on a finance earnings call where I am, even if you are running for office, you're not owed the truth. My allegiance is to the audience. And I thought they would enjoy a nice big E3 surprise like in the old days. I don't care about lying. What do you think this is? The Watergate hearing? Shut the fuck up. Okay. Listen now, I want to show you this. I think this is really cool. And I think what I'm going to offer you is a vision of the future, right? The future of entertainment. I'm going to show you this because this looks so fucking good. This looks so fucking good. And it is all AI. And so when you think about what the future is going to be, the idea of sitting in front of your TV and saying, hey, Siri, make me this movie. What movie would you like? I want it to be this and this. It's like a recipe, right? Here it is right here. Watch this. This is amazing looking. It looks better visually than the goddamn real film. This looks terrible. What are you talking about? Dude, I saw Back to the Future in theaters in 85 at the sneak preview. This looks just like fucking Michael J. Fox. You're telling me that looks terrible? What are you fucking on, man? What are you looks like? Oh, shut up, Bukkake. Go swallow a salt pack. What do you mean? Tech, come in, please. Am I out of my fucking mind? This looks terrible. What is wrong with people? This looks great. It looks well lit. It looks high res, much more than the old film transfer.
Bukkake, it doesn't look bad, but there's like some things that are like nitpicky about it. Like if you see the car coming in, it like slides in. It doesn't look like an actual vehicle. Like this cool. The lighting is great.
Well, okay, it's not, we're not there yet, but I mean, how many fucking special effects scenes in movies from 85? I could show you Labyrinth today and you'd say that looks like a terrible matte painting. It's like, you want to nitpick everything? There's tons of stuff you can fucking nitpick. And so imagine going to the computer. It's like, you know what? Now I want to put Sydney Sweeney in there, right? And obviously that's just if you're sitting around having a good time. But if you actually are a storyteller and you're like, I really want to tell my story with these assets, that could be really fucking cool. Jaffe, I think AI is eventually going to die, says K-Nubs, and you'll be on the wrong side of history. First off, I don't care. Second off, I don't believe you. And third off, there really is no difference. Let me show you something else real quick. Let me show you as it relates to this really quickly. Hang on. Okay, so check out this right here. So this is a new tool that you can use in Unreal 5, okay? And it allows you to build environments really easily and quickly, right? Check this out. Okay, so okay, so now here, and I think that's really neat and really cool. And I bet a lot of you people won't have a problem with this, right? What is the difference? What is the difference between me going in with my mouse to minimum height mask and adding, by going up and down, adding where the leaves are drawn, or saying to the AI, the chat GPT, hey, you know what? I want this to be more jungly and I want it to feel a little bit more like that scene in Indiana Jones at the opening when he's running for the airplane and the AI gives me that. What the fuck is the difference other than the tool from you speaking it to, is it some kind of ego thing that it's like, yes, but I have to learn which button to press? Like, that doesn't matter. I'm really curious. Like, why do you think this is acceptable, but the idea of using AI is not? Superficially curated versus delegation is the difference, but it's not bad either way. But it's specifically curated versus delegation. Why is this specific curation of going, I want more vegetation? Why is that somehow acceptable? But me saying to the computer, you know what? No, I don't want it to be Doc Brown. I want it to be the Terminator. Aren't both of those things simply you making a creative choice and then using the tools that are available to you to express what you're seeing in your head? Why in the world is one better than the other? I don't understand. Depressed says the difference is AI looks fake. This is just background stuff. I mean, I would really beg to differ, but I mean, I appreciate it. It is subjective. I do not think this looks fake. I think if you saw this in a shot in a movie, most people would not even think anything of it. It looks like fucking Michael J. Fox. I mean, but let's assume we're going to get past that, right? We will get past that. Because you know where this stuff was a year ago and look where it is now. So jump forward 5 years. Psychoics says there is the argument of letting AI take care of everything, and then we head to idiocracy movie level parody. Yeah, but we're not. All I can tell you is we're simply using different tools. Yes, you could go to the AI and say, make me a movie based on all the movies that you know I like that I would like. But so what? I mean, so fucking what? If it doesn't do a good job, I'm right there with you. I'm not trying to sell you on a bad movie. But if maybe what really bothers you is that the algorithm is like, you don't like the idea, and I'm just putting words in your mouth. Tell me if I'm wrong. But maybe you don't like the idea that AI will ever have the ability to say, I can watch everything that Dressed to Impress or Depressed to Impress has watched. And I can look at the watch time. I can look at how many things he's rewatched. I can look at his internet search history, blah, 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 blah. And once I'm done with that, I am going to make a 30-minute movie. And if the 30-minute movie is terrible, then yeah, it's not there yet. But if it turns out the 30-minute movie becomes your favorite short film, why is this bad? Just because a human didn't do everything? I just don't understand. I don't understand. Ravno says, Jaffe, it resembles Michael J. Fox. It also looks like a facsimile. How do you not see that? I just don't. I think this looks fucking great. I don't think this looks fake to me. I think it looks like Michael J. Fox. But I think certainly it will look better in the future, of course, in the future. Okay. Tech Protect says, Anthony, don't you think it'd be wise to make chat members only since the lcal people are used to a paywall? Yeah, I mean, it's better business. It's certainly better business. But we're not as big as those shows, right? So we have to kind of dance our own little dance here. But yeah, I would love to have our shows be so successful that people want to pay to chat. But, and some of them do, but not everybody. So, but it is what it is. We will always push to be as good as we can. Okay. I want to show you some weird stuff, if you don't mind. Hang on a second. Never mind. Okay. I'm just going to, I like finding things on the internet and that are weird. I don't care. I love it. And so I'm going to share some of that with you guys. All right. It's lazy, says Jarvie. There was no work put into it. I don't like lazy art. If you want to tell a story, put effort into it. That doesn't make any sense to me, Jarvie. That makes no sense to me. If you go to a restaurant and you eat food that they just got lucky, but it's your favorite dish, what do you care? I mean, I guess you do, but you're putting a layer on top of your entertainment that really, I'm reading this book right now. I love it. Bookshops and Bone Dust by a guy who follows me on Twitter, Travis Baldry. It's really good. Very cozy fantasy book, right? If I found out that the guy wrote this in a weekend of just like a blaze of cocaine and, you know, he just knocked it out, does it make it less because it was easier to write than a book he slaved over for 10 years? I don't think so. But you might. But I hear you and I appreciate your point. Benjamin says, I want to taste the grime under the chef's nails in my food. I want to show you this. This is just a compilation of kids being scared at Halloween Superstore, but I like that sort of thing.
Wait for it.
I also like the very last one because somebody's about to get the shit beaten out of them. See, what I like with that is that kid is clearly not the girl dressed as the Art the Clown kid. That kid is clearly just hanging out at the Halloween store and doesn't work there because at the end she kind of breaks character and goes over to her mom, but she just had the idea to do it, which I think is just delightful. Hello, GGV. Good to see you, buddy. This one's great.
See?
That one's fucking really good. That one's pretty good. Now this is mean. This was fucking mean. Look at this guy. This guy's ready to fucking fight, though. Watch this. See that? I mean, he was ready to punch the shit out of that guy. Universal base income. Yeah, again, you guys keep mixing this up. I'm not saying I am a fan of AI taking jobs without our social safety nets getting better. Of course, that's important. But you know, that's a different conversation. That's everything. I mean, that's capitalism. That's, you know, people are going to buy what's more convenient. As an artist that paints and draws, says AI does disappoint me. Feels like all the years of learning can't compete with an AI prompt. Right. It's exactly right. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I just think the sooner we accept it and the sooner people go, okay, well now if I really am an artist, and I don't just know how to draw. I don't just know how to create realistic imagery, but I have something to say. I have something to express. Suddenly these tools will be there for them. Maybe it's the people who are craftspeople, but are not genuine artists that have the most to lose. Because there's like, think about comic strips, right? When I was a kid coming up, there were comic strips that looked like this. Let me show you this. There were comic strips in the Sunday paper, right, that looked like this. Prince, and I never read them. They seemed boring to me. Prince Valiant comic strip, right? And my guess would be that these probably didn't make much money, or I mean, they made money, but they weren't, you know, certainly the kids weren't reading them. They haven't survived to today, right? But the people who drew this are clearly, you know, skilled actual artists who are able to do, you know, shading and shadows and lighting. And I'm not saying this is, you know, award-winning art, but it's, you know, whatever. But then it turned out the comic strips that were huge when I was a kid that everybody loved was like, you know, The Far Side. I mean, compare this art on your screen to the Far Side comic, right? So yeah, if you had AI, you could mimic this in a heartbeat. But what you couldn't mimic is the hilarity of it and the artistry of it and the creativity of it. Whereas Prince Valiant, anybody could do that, and the stories would probably be the same. I mean, I haven't read them, so I don't know that. But that's what I would say. I would say that fundamentally, if you're an artist, nothing's gonna not let you be an artist. You will use the tools that have come to your that are available to you to express what's in you. That's an artist, not someone who sits there and goes, look, I can draw photorealistic pencil images. It's like, great, I can take a picture. Doesn't mean it's not impressive, your skill, but it means it's not monetizable. Jaffe says, Alex, what are the reasons horror games are not so successful? Horror games are very successful. What are you talking about? I push back, sir, on your observation. I think if you look at something like Silent Hill 2 and the sales of that game, I think in the waiting room, I'm not doing Discord calls, but if you want to put yourself on the talk studio, I'll bring you in, JJD. So where did it go? Jaffe says, Joe, that's a great point. How long till we get AI commentary in sports games? Absolutely, man. It's a great point. And I have thought a lot about video game AI in PCs, but I have not thought, and I'm sure people who make these games have, I have never thought of tying it to sports commentary. But fuck yeah, dude, that would be amazing. And, I want to say that Street Fighter 6 actually has a little bit of that where they have multiple people reading it. And I do think there's a little bit of more AI than usual. But if you're talking about large language models actually watching what's happening on screen and then doing really cool commentary and going, I want it a little more R-rated. I want it for my kids because my kids are playing. I want it to be really mean, or I want it to be really like technical. So if I'm playing a fighting game and I want to learn how to get better, I'm actually getting commentary that's like, oh, if you just would have done this, he probably could have escaped that loss. I think that's a great point and a great idea. But yeah, horror games don't cost as much money, and when they don't, they do well. But just like the movies, if you spend 200 million or 150 million on a horror game, you're probably not going to do as well like a Silent Hill. But if you spend 600,000 and you get mouthwash, probably less than that, which just sold 500,000 at $20. What is 500,000 times 20? Is it $10 million? I think it's $10 million, right? So let's say mouthwashing took 1 to 2 people to make, and I don't think it cost anywhere close to $1 million, but let's say it did. Now you have $9 million profit on a $1 million investment. That's pretty fucking good. So just like in the movies, you got to keep your budgets low, especially if you're making horror, but horror fans show up. Horror guys buy shit all the time. You know what, says PG, I like AI. I will be on par with other artists who actually know how to draw and design. All I have to do is enter some words and voila. Yeah, but you're talking about something very, very different though. You're talking about yes, can I go to Grok right now and say, and I'll show you, I can go to Grok right now and go draw me hyper photo real image of Spider-Man fighting Superman above a crowded circus ring. Okay. And so, yes, the fact that I could just type that and someone else had to be in school or training for many, many years, that you're absolutely right on. Okay. But and obviously there's going to be mistakes and you're going to go, oh, see, you didn't do the hand right or the web's in the wrong place. Sure. But we'll get there. We're getting there. Right. But the fundamental part of it is not the fact that it could draw this or not draw this. And this is actually pretty not good. This looks terrible. It usually does better. Try again with a more dynamic, right? It's what are you prompting and what is the context of the prompt, right? It's more about shit. You did 200 of those and you put them in an order that really told a great story. I think it's fucking amazing. I think it's fucking amazing. Let me have it do it in that's kind of cool, but do it in traditional comic book Marvel style. Let's see what it does, and we'll move on. But again, I'm not going to convince you other than to say just look at history. Convenience always wins out. Lower cost always wins out. That's just the way it is. So what I would say is if you do want to be an artist and you do want to express yourself, find the current tools and the up and coming tools and master them, and also get good at expressing, really understanding yourself and why you want to be an artist. And then that's not going anywhere. Yeah, these are not great, but I've seen some great ones, but I'm not going to spend any more time on it. But okay. Okay. Yeah, Discord is not going to get you in, but if you want to call in, here we go. This is JJD. There we go. JJD, what's going on, buddy? Where'd he go? Is he here?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
I'm not sure how much the gain is on my side. I just wanted to, you were talking about the AI bit, just to say that I guess just want to pick your brain real quick about like where you stand on like your give and take in terms of what you accept, like what's acceptable to you in terms of like what AI can do to rid someone of their livelihood. And I say that in regards to the video that you had showed just a little while ago about like that template where it's creating all of the atmosphere, the bushes and all of that, which I think is super cool. And I've started to come around on AI in and of itself in terms of just like, if it's something that can help you knock out monotonous bullshit, then cool. But like, you know, people that spent years of their life learning this craft, I'm just someone, I'm always going to be someone that sides with someone who really put in the effort. And I just don't want to, I'm always going to side with someone who's like, I don't want you to lose your job just because.
Sure. But I mean, that
this tool is going to, like, whatever you got hired for, this tool is completely eradicated you.
Yeah. But it's that, and that's why I get frustrated with the conversation, because people seem to have a hard time separating those things. I understand practically if we don't have, like, we need laws, although they probably won't happen because we're competing with China and they don't have laws, but we need laws that say if your work was what was used to train this AI, you will get credit and you will get compensation to some degree, whatever that is. There's probably some law. It's like X% of the training that yielded this gives that, whatever. I think people need to be compensated for the training that the AI did. And I also think that because we know there's going to be a large loss of jobs from AI, and not just on art, but people who work at fast food restaurants. My Taco Bell now doesn't even have a voice on the drive-through. It's all AI. And you just talk to it and it gets it right. It's never gotten it wrong for me. And so I do also agree that we need, whether it's universal base income or better social safety nets or blah, blah, blah. But all that stuff can kind of live as very important ideas on the side. It doesn't, you know, I think sometimes the passion people have for that, which is
K-Nubs has just donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Jaffe, would you rather reverse 20 years in age and have Taylor Swift as your wife in her prime, or see AI reach the potential you have in mind in 5 years?
Got it. I'll read that in a minute, K-Nub. But what I would say, though, is those things that are negative can be true and are true, but it doesn't, I think sometimes that colors people's hatred of AI and allows them to argue things that are kind of nonsensical, where they talk about, well, there's no soul in AI art. And I'm like, dude, people don't know. When they go to a movie and they see an effect shot, they have no idea if the soul is such a snake oil salesman concept. It's like, you know, if you like it, you like it, and if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know any better. The idea that this, I can see the soul in it, I don't know if I agree.
I think as we progress further on in life and just throughout the future, I mean, in 2025 right now, the more our life just constantly gets crashed in front of a touch screen and we lose a personal touch, and we have all of these people that are supposedly making all these tools for the betterment of our humanity. At least that's what their sales pitch is, which is anything but, really. It's like we're beholden to those people. So I hear you, and I agree with where your heart is on that. My problem is that I just don't see the net positive of it because of the amount of bad actors running the show.
Well,
but,
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much my question. Yeah,
no, I mean, that's everything. The bad actors and the 1% and the people who are abusing their powers are absolutely horrific. But I will also push back on this idea that our life is like, oh, we're just sitting in front of screens. Yeah, we are. But I saw a stat the other day we talked about that now the vast majority of people, it's like 40% have met their spouses online. It used to be family, school, college. It's online, right? Or we had a guy at the beginning of the chat saying, I'm having a really rough time. I'm real lonely. I'm so glad that you're streaming. It's brought me a lot of joy, blah, blah, blah. What people seem to forget a lot is that as much as we bitch about technology, it really has brought a lot of people together and you've been able to find your own tribe, and you're no longer only able to watch movies that have been greenlit by a very small percentage of the population that say this is acceptable. It's like, no, I'll make my own fucking movie and I'll put it on the internet.
I mean, it's definitely brought in strangers that would never even, think to, like-minded people to come to, like, that sort of thing. There's definitely, I'm not disparaging that. It's, I guess my thing with that is the pretense and how disingenuous you can be. But again, that kind of goes back to the argument, which is about anything. Yeah, you can be a bad actor toward. That's just who you are in your heart.
So. And which sucks. All right, JJ, thank you, buddy.
Yep, later.
Let me read this. K-Nub says, would you rather reverse, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Would you rather reverse 20 years in age and have Taylor Swift as your wife in her prime? Well, if I reverse 20 years, she's 33, so she'd be 13. Or do you mean I would reverse 20 years? Let's just make it easy. Taylor Swift and I are 26 years old together. Okay. And she's my wife, or see AI reach the potential you have in your mind in 5 years. I mean, if I could have my kids that I had and my ex would still have her life. No, I would go with the latter. I would say AI could reach the potential I have, because in that case, it could make all that for me and I wouldn't have to give up anything. So that's what I would say. But thank you for the super chat and thank you for the question. Okay. Now, I want to show you this. This is amazing. The other day on this stream, we were looking at video of a cage coming up from the ocean in a boat. And there was this big fucking octopus that had wrapped its tentacles around it and it was not letting go. And so we don't know, right? Was its baby in the cage? And it's like, look, anybody whose child is in danger or their friend is in danger or their spouse is in danger, you will jump through fire and you will run through fire. So it's amazing when you see animals exhibit the same stuff. I'm going to show you another one. This is incredible. And we're going to watch this from just what looks like a closed circuit TV. Let me put it up right now so you know what I'm talking about. And it, in the mind of this animal that you're about to see, it's probably going to be the most eventful day of its life. It is going to be, maybe it's been planning this for a long time, for what a long time is for this animal. And we just look at it and it's just like, meh, it's just the day. But I want you to think about the effort and the risk and what, if anything, is going through the mind of this creature. And what you're seeing right here is obviously a pool of water. It looks disgusting. And in this pool of water, you fish flopping around in the water. Okay. Now watch this fish. There's a fish. Wait, hang on. Let's go back to the beginning. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this. Here's this fish. Now, this fish now has decided I'm jumping out. And now he can't breathe. He can't fucking breathe. And look at him. He's like, nope, I don't give a shit. I am not giving up. This is my chance to get back to my babies, to get back to my love, to fucking, not be a trapped animal. I am going to be the one that stands up and says, God damn it, I'm here. Now watch this thing. Watch this thing. Don't say, okay, Jaffe, like whatever. This is a creature that somehow found the courage, the guts, the instinct to say, I am going to fight for my very fucking existence and I want a better fucking life. This is the equivalent of people migrating to a country willing to risk everything because they are not going to suffer under bullshit anymore. And thank God at the end, this little motherfucker makes it and finds himself in a better world. Now, he might get eaten by a shark immediately, but the point is, isn't that something? It's not just the fact that it has a survival instinct. Of course, it has a survival instinct. Everything does. But somehow it knows the water's over there, and it knows that I don't think he's like surprised. It's possible he looked at this and thought there was water here, and this is just survival, because he wasn't thinking I'm going to have to risk. Like maybe he didn't plan. Maybe he thought I'd be in water now. And he's like, well, go to the water. I don't know what it is. Shout out to the fish, says JJD. You goddamn right. One pump man says that's a human that reincarnated into a fish. 100,000%. You goddamn right. Steven Johnson says that jump was amazing. Amazing. This is why AI Frogger impresses Jaffe, says Bukaki. He's amazed by shit like this. I know. It is amazing. What kind of fish is that? Because there's a catfish that can walk on land in Florida, says Warped Eye. Right. I don't know. But how are you not amazed by this? How are you not amazed by this? This is basically a Pixar movie waiting to happen. Well, it's already happened. It's I don't like my life in here and I'm going to fucking go for it. And there's like a little, if it was a Pixar movie, there'd be like a top 40 montage song happening. And these guys would be cutting back to these guys in the tank. It's like, did you see what Johnny did? Fucking Johnny's a moron. We're never going to see Johnny again. And cuts back to Johnny. He's like, I'm coming, Alicia. I'm coming. You know this is true. Thank you, Kyler. I'm glad you understand. Not everybody understands my brand of genius. And I'm not even fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. It's delightful to have my brand of genius. Okay. What do you mean? But remember, there is always an end. I don't know what that means. You've typed that twice now, and I want to give it the attention it deserves, which is to say maybe none, but I don't know what you're saying. I do want to ask you what you think this is on the TV screen, on your phone screen. I ask you if you're sensitive to avert your eyes. You may not want to see it, but it's important. What do you think you're looking at right here? What do you think you're looking at right here? I'll give you a couple minutes. Not minutes, that's too long. I'll give you a few seconds. Let me take a swig of the bubbly, and then I'm going to come back and see if you know what you're looking at on your screen. Fuck you, TJM. I will murder you in your sleep this evening. This evening, it's going to happen. Someone out there is like copying it, reverse searching it. I'll just tell you. Tech, do you know what this is?
Yeah, I do know what that is. But
tell the fine folks then.
We do have Tech Protect in the chat saying, is that Asmongold's kid? I don't think so. That is the peak performance of a human being to survive car accidents.
That's right. And in fact, somebody else, Sai, got it as well. This is what we would have to be if we wanted to survive a car accident. It's not a guarantee you'll live, but this is coming from science that says if we evolved into this, we could survive multi-directional, high-impact hits to our bodies. Isn't that something? Asmongold, it's a lolcow. Asmongold, not Asmongold, what's his name? Ravnos, same thing. You can go fuck off. He says, this is what, 5 years old? Bitch, buy a membership and you can complain about the aged content here. Do you know how hard it is to find stuff that's interesting to share with you guys that I think you'll like? Fuck you. Where's your membership, bitch? Did your wife not get out of yoga yet and she won't let you spend the credit card? Is that what's happening? Fucking moron. I want to ask you guys a question now. I really do. I want to ask you guys a question about, let me show you this video clip real quick. Okay. Fuck the freeloader, says Geiger, a freeloader, but I appreciate it, Geiger. Thank you, buddy. Is my name not green, you old fart? No, I don't need it green. I need it to read like a goddamn Cult of Calypso member. I won't stand for it. Okay. Look what's happening in my world. Look at this. Look at me complaining someone's texting me. There are people out there that would love for someone to be texting them. Think about that. Think about the things you complain about in your life. Yeah, I have to get them to go to work. Well, at least you have a job. Yeah, someone's texting me while I'm trying to stream. Well, at least people care enough about you to ask what you want to do tonight. What's the matter with people? Toxmod says, Jaffe, Tina hates your guts. I think you broke her. Yeah, man. I tried to break her in a biblical way, but alas, she was not interested, and I had to mourn the loss of what I thought was going to be chapter 2 for me. My next big kind of, foray into romance and love. Okay, listen to this. I want to show you this real quick. This is the new Attorney General telling Fox News about the Epstein files. It's a very short clip. It's 29 seconds. And then I want to ask you guys a question on the other side. Here we go.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you. The DOJ may be...
Right. So here's the question. Oops, let me pause that. If this comes out, and let's assume that it will, if these names come out, who do you expect to see, right? Who do you expect to see on the list, and who would blow your fucking mind? But if Toxmod says, wait, the JFK files, yeah. Again, this is all probably performative, maybe not, but now there's like a Department of Government Transparency. Okay, sure. My guess is it's not that all of the presidents before Trump were like, we just don't want to release the JFK files. I'm like, but fine. Let's assume all this plays out as designed. So UAPs, UFOs, JFK, and now the Epstein list. Let's say the Epstein list does come out. Who would you expect and who would you be surprised by? I will start. I mean, Dano Genesis will start. Dano Genesis, oh my God, Necro, that's a good one too. Dano says Joe Rogan, but the real one that would break everybody's heart, I don't even want to read it. Mr. Rogers on the list would break America's heart. Can you imagine if Mr. Rogers was diddling the children, won't you be my neighbor down south?
Do you know the story
I'm talking about his penis. What?
You know the story about Mr. Rogers' studio got robbed back in like the day. Like 3 gang members came in, broke into the studio, stole his computer equipment and the studio equipment. They found out it was his stuff and they returned it. They were like, I'm so sorry. You were like my childhood hero. You were trying to lead me to like a path of being a good person. They returned it. And then he called the cops and got him arrested. Do you know that story?
I don't know that story, but it sounds like something at least the character of Fred Rogers would do. Okay, so Mr. Rogers would break your heart. Steven Spielberg would break my heart. People are saying Oprah. Oprah probably, I would be surprised by Oprah, but I wouldn't be insanely surprised, but maybe. Jay-Z has been linked with some of the Diddy drama, and it was just thrown out of court, or Jane Doe, who was accusing them, has settled or walked away from it. I don't think she settled. Maybe she pulled the case. But Jay-Z would break my heart, although it wouldn't surprise me. But I would hate to learn that.
What about Taylor Swift?
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah.
That ruin a country.
Taylor Swift. And somebody in the chat says Dr. Seuss. Aristos says Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, Taylor Swift. Oh, my God. You guys are going to make me so sad. Trees Go to War says Robin Williams. Robin Williams would break my heart. Jay Styles says LeVar Burton. Yeah, Jesus, man, you goddamn right. Bukaki says Slash from Guns N' Roses. Geiger says Keanu Reeves. I would, my heart would break in a lot of ways if it was Keanu Reeves. And I think, oh yeah, JGD says Betty White. I think it would be because if it was Keanu, he's one of the few people that so far has made it through unscathed of being a creep. But he's been able to be rich and successful and influential and powerful in a business. And you like to think that, wow, someone actually made it through to the other side and didn't lose their spirit. But if Keanu was on that list, yeah, it would be like, my God, man. I know it's all a lie, but that would really hit home the fact that it's all a goddamn lie.
You know who might be on the list? Sid Meier.
Sid Meier, the Civilization game director? Why would you say that and then leave? Look, come back on the chat. I want when they show this in court, when Sid Meier sues me for defamation, I want it to be clear.
He has the face.
I want it to be clear that you said it. I didn't say it.
No, it was me. Anonymous man online.
Dr. Disrespect would not surprise me. One Pump Man is saying Dr. Disrespect. Kyler Williams as Kurt Russell. That would suck. Oh, Emily Clark. That's horrible. Rick Moranis. No, come on. Ben Shapiro is probably on that fucking thing. Who would it be that we expect, right? Everybody expects Clinton and Trump, Obama, I mean, I don't expect Obama, but people are saying Obama. But Clinton and Trump, I think, make a lot of sense. People say Bill Gates. That makes a lot of sense. Who else are some of the expected people that are going to be on the list? Corey Barlog, come on now.
Boogie? Would Boogie be on the list?
Let me answer that, and then I'll get to your text chats, you guys, because I want some of these are good ones. Boogie would be on the list. I don't know him that well. What I would say about him is he has been open about, and I'm not making a bit here, he has been open about having struggled with a lot of childhood sexual trauma. And I think the reason that, as much as I despise, kitty dids, and want them off the street, I still have compassion for them, because more often than not always, but a very large percentage of the time, they are themselves a victim of childhood sexual trauma. And it doesn't forgive anything they do, but it definitely allows me to have a little bit more compassion of going, this is an epidemic and we have to stop it. So when you say Boogie, I don't think so. My engagement with Boogie, which is very little, has been he seems like a decent person.
Oh, I was confused. I thought we were talking about who killed JFK.
Oh, no. Well, he definitely killed JFK.
Yeah.
But that wasn't when he was Francis, you see. He's got kind of the multiple personality thing going. All right. Smash TV, you mean Smash JT, GTA? John McAfee, I would like to fucking put him on Epstein's Island and blow it up, because his fucking virus thing keeps coming up. Mark Zuckerberg might be on the list. Blue Gamer says Ryan Reynolds, Jay-Z, Bobby Kotick. Bobby Kotick, Hector Howell, is in the Black Book. Bobby Kotick, ex-CEO of Activision, his name, and this is not a meme or this is not a deep fake. It is actually, it doesn't mean that he did anything illegal, but he did fly on Epstein Airlines, or at least borrow the plane. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was getting enough doing his own awful, evil shit that I don't know why he would need to go to Epstein. Elon Musk. What do you think? Elon Musk. He got a lot of babies, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, probably. Adam Sandler would break my fucking heart. That would break my heart. Is he supposed to be on the list? Epstein's list? Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber probably was abused himself. Chris Rock would be terrible. Goddamn terrible. Greg Miller. Yeah. Jeff Keighley. All right. Now you guys just fucking playing.
Jackie Chan would break my heart.
Jackie Chan would break my heart if he went to Epstein's Island. That would be awful. Okay. James Corden is supposed to be on the list. Oh God, that's terrible. Trees Go to War says, what if it was Chris Farley? Can you imagine Chris fucking Farley being on that list? That would be tragic. Dano Genesis says, what if Seinfeld was on the Epstein Island list? Which, if you missed that clip a minute ago, Donald Trump's attorney general is saying she has it and they are preparing to release it. So we will see. But Jerry Seinfeld, I know nothing about anything he's done that's illegal, but would it surprise me? No, especially given that he was 39 when he was dating a 17-year-old and ended up marrying that woman. And they've had but they've had a long marriage. But, I don't know, Woody Allen probably wouldn't surprise me. Shia LaBeouf. Robert Downey Jr. Please don't say that, Jay Styles. Robert Downey Jr.
Jim Ryan
Come
fled
on.
everywhere during the up trials.
I mean,
Statistically, the probability of him flying to Epstein's Island is high.
Tina's on the list.
Sauce. Well, hang on. Septic Sauce, our buddy Gaz, 36 months, died so the soldiers. Thanks, buddy. He says, Jim Ryan flew everywhere during the Activision trials. Statistically, the probability of him flying to Epstein Island is high. I don't know if I agree with that, but, he does fly a lot. Corporate Game Decisions Design says Elon Musk is a tough one. Was he on Epstein's list? Because he's such new money, he may not have made the cut. That's a good point. Wait a minute. JJD says Jackie Chan is in the book. He was a few names below Jay-Z. Tech, will you look that up? Will you look up if Jackie Chan is actually in the Epstein flight log? Dolly Parton, Rob the Mod, you go wash your mouth out with soap. You go to hell. MK Nile says, no way anyone from the current administration is going to be on the list. Right. Well, of course. Yeah. Even if Trump is on the list and he releases it, yeah, he'll be like, okay, but take these 20 people out. He'll probably, I don't know, whatever you think of Trump, if he releases the list and you think it's the full list, it's probably, you think he's really going to put anybody on there that he's working with. There's no evidence that Jackie Chan was involved with Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. So there you go. Do this. Google, Jamie, Google who the 10 most popular people are that were in Epstein's book. And let's see what comes our way. I'm very curious. Alicia Keys would break. Yeah, me too. Okay, so Donald Trump and Clinton, Prince Andrew, Tony Blair, Bill Cosby, Courtney Love. How in the world could Courtney Love? Come on. Rupert Murdoch. Okay, give me some more. I want to see some more. Ask for 10 more. Seinfeld is a pedo, so he's like P. Turtle, says Ravnos. It's not untrue. Okay, wait a minute. Robert Downey Jr. would just be terrible. That would break, because, he's fucking Iron Man. He's Tony Stark, man. I don't want to see that. Harrison Ford, you bite your tongue, MK Ness. Oh my God. If Indiana fucking Jones ended up being on Epstein's list, that would be it. What's the point? What's the point of going on? Dano Genesis says Snoop Dogg. Fuck you, trees go to war. George Lucas. No, you're not wrong. TJM says Sam Jackson would suck. Can you imagine if Sam Jackson was on that? No. I won't have it. I won't stand for it. I bet Mr. Beast has his own list, says K-Nubs. I've heard enough weird things about that guy, but I've never met him and I don't really follow him. I'm too old to really. I watched like an episode of his show. But the Mr. Beast games or something. Really? Ravno says I could see Harrison Ford on it. That's something. Brendan Fraser? Was Brendan Fraser? Tech, what else do you got? Who else? John Carpenter? Fuck you, man. Who else do you got on the list, Tech? I need more names. That's nothing. I can't do anything with that. Here we go. Kate Blanchett, Cameron Diaz, DiCaprio, Stephen Hawking. There's a picture of Hawking. Bruce Willis, Kevin Spacey, Michael. What is the matter with these people? These people have all the money in the world. They have all the influence in the world, and still they are susceptible to a fucking grifting con man like Epstein making them feel good and powerful. I don't know. I just don't know. And watch what happens too. It'll be these fucking Hollywood fucking phonies. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but I'm sure there's also a lot of fucking people that if they could be on the list, they would. And then you have to ask yourself, well, why is this so prominent? And maybe the reason it's so prominent is it's so taboo that we can't even talk about it. Because if we talked about it, we might start to get to the bottom of it. And we might start to go, oh my God, society breeds this because X, Y, and Z. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, there you go. That's the Jeffrey Epstein Island story. There's Clinton. Look at that fucking smug fuck. His name appears 73 times. Bill Clinton. Wouldn't surprise me. If that list goes out, we're all going to have to resort to indie movies for a while. That's right, Jay. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Who's sending me this? What is this? This is from Ravnos. Oh yeah, I saw that. I can't play that. He's playing the he's playing the Ricky Gervais. If you haven't seen, this is classic. If you haven't seen Ricky Gervais doing his final episode of the Golden Globes host, it is delightful. It is excellent. Epstein donated billions to charity. Being associated with doesn't automatically mean they're bad, says Toaster. No, it doesn't. But this is one of those cases. Like, we started the show where people were talking about, well, Jaffe, you're doing all this stuff now with the Keemstar Network, and the Keemstar Network, they have some bad actors over there that don't align with your political views. And I say, yeah, but as long as they aren't hurting anybody, they have a First Amendment right to express themselves, and I don't partake in it, and I walk away from it when I see it. But you're not wrong about the fact that if you are going Epstein, here's what I would say. If you knew Epstein was doing these things, but he was also doing good things for charity, and you held your nose, isn't that a tough one? Right? Isn't that a tough one to say, he does these awful things, but he's also going to donate $20 million to kids' cancer research. And if I tell on him, he's going to go to jail, and that's $20 million that these people won't have to have cancer research. But you will probably fundamentally, spiritually damage, 50 kids, right? I mean, if you really are looking at it from a meta 30,000 foot view and you're weighing your options and your pros and cons, would you allow, would you turn the other cheek if you knew Epstein was doing what he's doing, if it turned out that Epstein every year continued to give $20 million to kids' cancer research? What would you do? And I'm not saying that like, I gotcha. I'm saying that like, I just thought about that when this conversation happened. I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I imagine what I would do. My initial instinct is I would probably turn the other way. That's probably what I would do. And that's terrible. And I don't know if I could live with myself. But for every 50 kids every year that have this awful thing happen to them, you could be saving millions of kids. Millions. I draw the line at that is what TJM says. I draw the line at diddling, Jaffe. Of course. No one is advocating it. No one's saying it's okay. What I'm saying is if you had to make a choice between let Epstein keep doing what he's doing and 50 kids every year are going to have traumatic shit for the rest of their lives, but $20 million goes to child cancer research. Okay. Fuzzy Tomato says that's peanuts for fine. Make it a number that's meaningful. Okay. It's ridiculous to get into the nuance of a hypothetical when it comes to it's not 20 million. The NHI has said 30.6 million, fine, whatever it is. I'd be curious. It's like saying having a progressive doctor do inhumane experiments, but will result in curing a serious illness, says Shasley. Yeah, absolutely. I find it fascinating. Fucking fascinating. At least the kids with cancer won't be exploited, says Emily. Okay, so you would not do it because the kids, right. I mean, you're going to save those 50 kids, but it's going to be at the suffering of kids who may be able to have, life-saving surgeries. No amount of good. I don't know. My gut tells me, it says no amount of good negates the harm that an abuser does, says the witch. I totally get your point. And I'm not saying this is an easy, I think there is no right answer. But if you could kind of look at like Paul Atreides and Dune, and you could take the spice and you could see all the lines of possibility, and good and well that 1,000 kids a year are going to survive cancer because of this research every year. And you also know that in that 50 will suffer. How do you not choose the 1,000? Like Bitrate says, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Your question is immoral. There's no such thing as immoral and unrealistic. Shut up, you fucking coward. That's like something. That's why you're not a fucking head of industry, or that's why you've had little success in your life. Relax, bruh. Because you do have to answer and wrestle with the hard questions. It is an interesting question. And it is an important question because fundamentally we make these choices every day. We don't make them literally every day. But when you buy from this company that does bad shit or that company that's more expensive that does less bad shit, you're basically choosing every choice you make. Are you a good person or a bad person? Sorry, but you are. You are. HKD says, Jaffe, this is High Mank. My kids need help. They want the God of War remasters to relive the awesomeness of my childhood. Say something, please. I don't know anything about them. I know fundamentally that there's a rumor that they will be released at or at least announced at the panel coming up in a couple of weeks for God of War 20th. So I hope so, but I haven't heard. Spielberg would not be surprising. There was always controversy with Heather O'Rourke, the little girl in Poltergeist. I don't think so. I know Oliver Robbins. I went to college with him, who played her brother, and I never heard anything like that. Okay. Was there not a real life example about Nazi doctor research doing something to help the medical field? Probably. So, We know Sony's out of ideas, so remakes and remasters. That's not really true, though. That's really not true. They have plenty of ideas. What they're out of is maybe money to keep making those ideas, which is why Shu said these remasters and remakes are what fund a lot of these, things. Yeah, for every new IP, there are 3 remasters and remakes. It's not pathetic. What's pathetic is gamers who don't seem to understand, especially Ravno, somebody who worked in the industry. Gamers don't want to pay more for their games. They don't want microtransactions. They want the very best graphics. They want it now. They don't want to wait so long for games. And they want cool new IP. Well, something's got to give, because they also don't want the teams to crunch, and they also want people to be paid more than a living wage, and they want the people who make the games to get bonuses and not just the Bobby Kodaks of the world, the people who actually did the work. Well, you can't have all of that without some kind of like, hey, what if we did some remakes and remasters, and that will allow us to spend money that we make from those, which Shu has said is like printing money, to put into new IP. Why would you say that? You know better than that. Ravno says, don't pay more, just buy the same game you already played. No one's asking you to buy it again. Why would you buy a game you've already played? What are you talking about? You think I'm going to run out and buy another copy of The Last of Us 2 just because it was remastered? Why? Who does that? Unless you're like a hardcore fucking fan, and that's fine. At that point, you're all in. Anyway, fellas, look, here's the deal. It is 6:00 almost here in San Diego. That is going to do it for Jaffe Speaks. I am off tonight. I'm going to be hanging out with one of my kids and my ex, and we're going to be watching The White Lotus. And I think we're going to be watching an episode of Matlock. But I will be back, of course, on Monday here on this show and over on lcal. And I will probably be back Sunday. I think one of our members is sick, so I'm not sure if we're doing it, but I think we'll be streaming D&D on Sunday as usual here on the show. But if it turns out we don't do it because we have sick people that kill the thing, then I'll be doing something else. But I think we are going to be doing D&D. I don't know if Hector's still in the chat right now, but if you are, I'll probably see you tomorrow. Okay. In the meantime, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the communication and the fun conversations. Consider a membership. Consider liking the show. Consider subscribing to the channel. Consider super chatting, a super thanks after the fact if you're watching this after the fact. And I'll catch you guys soon. Tech Protect, any final words?
Jaffe's game about Tina catching her leg will soon be available to members at the Cult of Calypso level.
I would love that, but I can't do that. I would love that, though.
Why can't you do that?
Well, first I have to figure out how to make an executable file out of it, but I don't think that would be a problem. But frankly, I can't actually give that to people because I don't have the likeness rights to Tina. That would be between her and Keem. But maybe I'll put Ravnos in there if he lets us.
Okay.
He can maybe be trying to chase some kind of relevancy or respect from people. That's his kind of, MacGuffin he's going after possibly.
He's going to grab you away from Keemstar, and Keemstar's at the end of the bridge, right? So you have to get to you before you get over there. You slow down the leg, change your face.
Absolutely. Where's my kid? I want to talk to my kid real quick because it's probably the only chance I'll have to talk to her tonight.
She has no clothing.
Oh my God! Put some clothes on, child.
She's in the shower.
Oh, listen to this. K-Nubs drops another super chat. Thank you, buddy. Here, let's let the computer talk to us. Here's what it says.
K-Nubs has just donated $9.99 through super chat. Thanks, pal. Gamers can't make up their mind. They shit on Starfield and now make videos comparing how much better Skyrim and
I got to increase the length of the read. That's my bad. They shit on Starfield and now make videos complaining how much better Skyrim and Oblivion are than Avowed that Asmongold reacts to. I have only played a little bit. I have only played a little bit of Avowed. I haven't really dived into it, but what I've played, I've really liked. But I also adored Starfield. I think most gamers are probably quite happy. I think the ones that are vocal online are just a bunch of fucking idiots. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't. There's a lot of things I don't like, but on the whole, to bitch about the state of games is indicative of one of two things. One of three things. You're either just a liar, you're a grifter, which is a liar, but you make money off of it, or you're just really poorly informed and you haven't done any research, because we are in a golden age of delightful video games, and people are just simply wrong. I say, I demand it. I demand I be right. All right, fellas, I'm out. Be well, be safe. Bye, everybody.